Budget or brand? That's something I think is a very common conversation in a lot of things we buy, but it's very dominant in the firearm space. When you look at guns, every major brand of firearm has a lesser equal to it, or in design. Maybe not equal in performance, but equal in design, or maybe equal in features. And this conversation came up the other day with a friend of mine. His son is turning 21, or did turn 21. He's looking for a handgun. He had a very specific budget he brought to me, and a very specific parameters of what he was going to buy. He's not comfortable yet to carry, but he wants a handgun. He wants a handgun he can take on his camp trips with his overlanding buddies, go shoot in the desert, just kind of learn the fundamentals and the safety of a handgun. And I thought that was a very mature, very wise approach. A lot of guys will go out, get the coolest, most expensive, Gucciest thing they can get, and maybe there's not a whole lot of skill there, but there's a whole lot of money there. And we see that a lot. We see a lot of dollars and not a whole lot of skill at times, especially when it classes. You'll see a dude show up with the baddest, coolest gear and about $6 of skill. So today's video is budget or brand, and we have the Springfield Echelon 4.0 with the RMR Type 2 green dot. This is the brand new pistol and brand new dot just got released. And then this is the Tisas Px9 Duty Comp. This is a Turkish pistol that's more kind of maybe a little bit of a XDM with a little bit of a VP9 slide. It's very unique, but when you look at this pistol, we discuss it today, there's a lot going on in this pistol for the money, right? This pistol retails around $475, or MSRP is like $5 and change. MAP, manufacturer's advertised price, what you're going to find like on a web ad or something like that, or in a store, you're looking at $475. So there's oftentimes you're going to find it for less. The Echelon is closer to $700, right, before an optic. This is a Siley Wolf. This is an RMR footprint. I've been messing with some of these Siley products. Phenomenal. I have the Siley Bear, which is the acro copy on a offset on a rifle. That battery has now gone on almost 2.5 years. It's crazy, right? So that optic is very acro P1-ish, and my P1 can't nearly compete with the battery life of that Siley Wolf, or Siley Bear. So again, these Siley products, you can find them on Amazon and whatnot, but for the entry-level red dot, and they make a bunch of different models, much bigger windows, etc., but there is something to be said for the value these bring to someone on a budget. So let's talk about the PX9, because we've already done a review on this gun, and today you're going to see some basically shot-for-shot comparison, and I'll show you the targets here in a minute, but we'll discuss that. But we're going to kind of leave this one aside and talk about this one. So when you look at this pistol, one thing right out the gate, grip angle. It is a very easy gun to present and find that red dot. Very clean. The ergonomics of this gun are very reminiscent of the XDMs. The features on this gun, a little bit of extended slide stop here, which is ambi on both sides. It's got a slight little ramped gas pedal, very similar to what you find on like the SIG X5. The mag release is kind of more of a competition style, and what's cool, in the package you get some different heads right here that you can unscrew and put on to give you some different fitments, right? So, but what's cool about this gun is without any, it's just very easy to get that mag out without changing grip. So for someone who's brand new to shooting, to being able to get a mag change in there, this is very conducive to learning how to get the mag out, get the mag in without having a lot of reach or grip changing, etc. I thought that was a very, very well done design there. With the slide stop, very easy, very positioned right here, slide stop magazine, right? So I'm not, again, moving forward, moving backwards, using my left hand to get up there. It's very easy to lock that slide, even the mag out, pushing up, dropping it, everything is right there. Very clean positioning between slide stop and mag release. As I mentioned, that gas pedal, that's a very, very easy to reach and a very clean position that I can get my thumb onto to mitigate that recoil. This comp in the barrel, or excuse me, port I should say, is very well done. It's a very reminiscent of a Monsoon tactical chunk port, but the benefit when you look at this gun and you look at something like that's on the M&P carry comp, this is like 3 times as wide as that one. It worked very well today. The trigger, not a huge fan, but it's decent. And I say that, to be honest, because someone who's brand new, probably not going to notice this. So me saying the trigger is not that great, it's hard because I'm already looking for something more than it can actually deliver. But you'll notice how much take-up is in this trigger. When you get the trigger, you'll see there's extra, then it breaks, right? And that thud, very reminiscent to like stock P320 triggers, which aren't bad to learn on, because reset, that's where it gets a little ugly, right? But shooting this gun, it's very easy to get reset through recoil and get on this pistol. It sounds worse than it feels, but it's actually, last night when I was zeroing this gun, it got away from me a couple of times. It's a very crisp reset, and it breaks very cleanly when you're shooting the gun. The compensator works very well, very well. I had no issues there, and of course with the Siley Bear. Now, the one thing I did notice today, we shot around 50 rounds last night and probably maybe 50 to 100 today. When I look through this red dot right now, I can see just this, like a skunk tail, just a wide streak of carbon on the lens of the red dot. Now this one here, it's significantly noticeable. Like it's like a little kid fingerprint smudge right dead center of the glass. And that's from the gas porting on the lens. So that's something on this gun, yeah, that's something that you have to be aware of, because someone who was shooting this for the first time would look like they just smudged their finger with chocolate sauce on the front of this lens, and now it's obscured. This here is obscured enough that I notice it now after shooting a very minimal round. So if you went for a full range day, like at a class or something, definitely something you need to be aware of, right? Wiping that off with a little rag, keep on your back pocket, microfiber cloth, clean it off, because once we clean it, no issue whatsoever, we're back in business, right? So the Siley Bear is a very, very clean dot for the money. It is a fully enclosed RMR type emitter. It's got a side load battery, 2 buttons on the side here for brightness adjustment. It is RMR footprint, as I mentioned. The screws that comes with a ton of different mounting options, very well designed and super inexpensive. This overall entire pistol, you're like $550, I believe. So pretty solid setup there. Magazines, you get one 20 rounder, one 17 rounder. The 20 rounder has an extended base pad. The magwell is removable, and the magwell fitment to the polymer frame is pretty clean. There's very little jagged edge on the inside there, and the mags seat very nicely. It's a full-size grip module, so even if you, but you can see how narrow this grip module is, right? If you had a large hand, even a smaller hand, this could be a great option for someone, either male or female. Holster-wise, I don't know what's all out there. I want to say this would probably fit a 320 holster if you ran a larger, longer light. The downside to that, you start now getting outside of that budget, right? Because you're buying a $500 handgun and you're spending $375 on a weapon light, like a Surefire, for example. So this, you're gonna have to do a little research on what holsters are out there. I know there's probably some guys making them. I've seen some guys on YouTube running different holsters. There's probably some generic stuff out there as well that might work. But again, if this is where you're going, you may not be using it so much for holster work, more just for out fun, shooting in the desert, you know, taking on a camp trip. So maybe it's a off-body bag you'd put it in, maybe a generic nylon holster, something like that that you might be using this pistol for. Weapon lights, there's probably some other options out there on Amazon that are a little cheaper to run on this pistol. But overall, for what you're getting feature-wise, especially to learn on a budget-friendly pistol, the PX9, this thing did lights out. I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to grab some targets for you because we did some shot for shot, one gun, and I'll show you the targets, the two kind of let you see what you see. Echelon Comp 4.0, Tisas Px9 Duty Comp. If you notice both these pistols, very, very similar in design, but we have budget over brand. That's a discussion for today. Are we buying a budget pistol that performs great and saves us money, or are you buying the one that we know is by recognition of brand name and that cool factor and that flex of the range? Today we're going to put them to the test to see, does budget really work, or does brand better for the buck? We'll see. Okay, so I go 4 rounds on the Echelon. All right, Echelon, now you showed up. One more extra. Sorry, Blake. My math is off.
That's okay.
We could probably just end this right now.
No discernible difference.
All right. And I think I might have shot the Tisas a little faster. So now let's do one more. We'll do 4 rounds. We'll speed it up a little bit. 5 there. Same kind of growth. Let's do, what do we got in this magazine? Let's do some pairs on this one. Okay, Echelon has a little better recoil. All right, let's do both guns have the same ammo. Let's do some slow fire to the head. Oh, through one. Ah, shit, that's me. That was me. All right, I'm gonna see if I can tighten this up. That's a little bit sloppy on this trigger. It is a little bit funky. Yeah, that's... That was me. I do notice grip angle is better on this gun. Yeah, I can already feel a difference in grip angle for sure, but yeah, Echelon does shoot tighter. So today when we shot these, it was just round for round, Echelon on the left, Tisas on the right. Now when you guys look at this, keep in mind, this is me shooting the guns, so someone who's brand new may not have similar, or maybe have larger. I threw a few out here today, but you can definitely see the exact same amount of rounds were on each. Well, yeah, because the magazines were same. The Tisas, I think, has 2 or 3 more rounds because it has the one mag that has 20 rounds in it. So, but you'll notice even the credit card box, right, did pretty well. This was me just kind of messing with towards the end. But when we first started, A-zone. The Echelon target, obviously, much tighter grouping through both. But at a pistol right now, that you see here, outfitted, well over $1,000, right? Did pretty well. This pistol, as you see, outfitted sub $600, right? When you look at the two in regards to performance, there's not a whole lot of difference in the two guns, right? Other than brand, right? Yes, Echelon might be, but if brand new shooter, is he going to get here? Maybe. I don't know. But so the person who's on a budget, like Eric has an exact budget of $650. He ain't going any dollar. He told me straight up, don't call me if it's $651. He's like, I'm not buying it. My max budget is $650 for pistol and a red dot. If I can get a light, great. If I can't get a light, I'll get one later. But his goal was $650, right? And it's an ammo, of course. But this pistol right here for him in the Tisas Px9, I think is a great starter gun for someone who's looking for a pistol that has a very good ergonomics, a lot of capacity, a lot of features as far as learning how to manipulate a handgun, ability to run an RMR footprint, so that gives you something with the Siley, all the hollow sun options, and then of course if you want to put an RMR on there, you could. It's more than the gun, but again, that's an option for you. And with the comp, so you're getting all the whiz-bang cool stuff with this pistol that gives you a very good level of performance for a whole lot less money. So it's something that it's YouTube, right? There's gonna be comments, oh, you're buying some Turkish import gun. Absolutely you are. And that's why you're paying the price you're paying. But for that first timer, that's a consideration like anything. Do you buy the brand new 4Runner, or do you go out there and get the 1978 CJ5, but that's cool? One is going to last you much longer. One may last you close to that same time frame, but it's probably going to cost you a little more in the long run. I don't have the time nor the means to go put this through a 10,000 round torture test. Not my thing, right? And no one's going to watch that. But yes, you're right, YouTube commenter, that you're buying a Turkish import handgun. How long is it going to last? I don't know. But the goal for this is for someone who's buying a first handgun, a very first pistol. Maybe the $1,000 or $750 to $1,000 budget is just not there. I'd rather that person watch this video and say, you know what, I'm going to go and buy that whatever entry gun, so that way I can learn, I can train, I can educate myself and start my own research, my own journey to finding if this is for me. So you guys, I just wanted to give you that because sometimes we do kind of lean towards some more expensive handguns, and not everybody is going to go out and skip a mortgage payment for a pistol. And you shouldn't, especially this time of where the country's at right now, the things we're going through, be fiscally responsible, but also protect yourself and your family, right? That's a big thing right now. And I'd rather you guys be able to get a gun, get training, get a skill set, and then decide, hey, this is for me. I do want to carry a gun. I want to be armed throughout my daily life. Then you start looking at what guns fit your lifestyle, right? What gun works for you? What gun is something you want to carry? What position on your body works for you and is comfortable for you to carry? Then you're going to work through that, right? So again, the starting point, skill set, knowledge, do your research, go from there. So you guys, today, budget over brand, Px9 Duty from Tisas, Springfoot Echelon Comp. You pick your poison, what works best for your budget. If you like what you see, as always, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, be well. Take care.